And so that's what we'll probably just focus on today, is just seeing if, you know, clickers and adjustment and all that stuff can just be fine tuning, and it can give you a gauge on which direction to go, softer, harder, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Balance of the bike, do I like, you know, the shock a little bit more, you know, more or less preload, and those types of things. So you're at 50 hours anyway, so you definitely need a service. You might get a bit longer sometimes, but as a privateer pro, you'd only do 30 hours or so, and then you'd service it. Just once you get a line, just try and stick to that line, because that line's going to give you the feedback. You know, if it bounces off the bump, don't avoid the bump, keep hitting that bump, because what you want to know is when you hit a bump at a track under brakes or under acceleration, you want to know what that does. So if you're avoiding it, you're not really getting, you know, real feedback. So same line, and just, you know, warm up. Have you set your pressures and stuff?
I haven't done.
Have you got a pump?
Yeah, I've got a pump.
You've got a pump?
The last time we touched it was when you touched it. I haven't let the air out because you said do it after warm up.
Yeah. Right? Well, you as soon as you should always, with air, you should always check your pressure
Before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, before, every single time, like at the start of the day at least. And then even sometimes if you're at a race, you might even check it before you go out. But main thing is start of the day. And a couple of reasons, like, you know, you might have a leak in cartridge seal or something and dropping pressure, you know, even if it's a slow leak. That's you know, common. Yeah. But at least then you know. Yeah. But other than that, just making sure that's your spring rate. So if you're down a PSI or 2, you're dropping like a spring rate. Yeah. So next minute you hit a bump and it's diving in. Yeah, I'll just get you to do it, because you sort of got to get into the habit. It's like it's just like you'd know in your dad's world, it's like a warm up. Yeah. You should be. Sometimes you might just jump on and ride it, fair enough, but you want to get real feedback and real understanding.
So it's at 127. What did we finish with?
I'll get my phone.
So I remember we went to 132, but I think we went down from there.
So I got here, fork hard feeling, 100 watt lower pressure, fork 130 PSI.
Okay. Yeah, because I think,
So depending what's done in there, in your valving, is, so pressures can change because you've got different valving and stuff, but, and that's what I normally, that fork, I normally do some changes to the valving, and then I run a higher pressure, but give you more feel. So anyway, set that. Yep. Get your little, you want to bleed those out.
Yep.
Check your tyre pressures as well.
I did 14, but I'll do them again.
What are you running?
What tyre?
Yeah.
The Scorpion.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
You do the same?
With Pirelli I do, yeah. Other tyres. Big thing about tyres is the wall thickness.
Yeah.
So if a tyre rolls, you got to sometimes run more pressure. If it doesn't, well, you can run a standard pressure, you know. Or maybe if the wall thickness is real thick, you might run it a little bit lower, you know. Especially on, you know, hard concrete tracks. Not much under 12.5-ish, 12-ish.
What is this for, the wall?
This is for your pressure, but that would be if the tyres are harder wall. But you got to kind of muck around, know the tyre a little bit, you know. Yeah. Righto. So I think for a start, we had the shock where we wanted it. We might check that throughout at some stage. So let's get you out riding.
Yeah.
Do a little warm up that you once you find the lines, and so there's a few concrete or harder packed ruts. So try and just follow the line that's worn in is probably the best. Otherwise you're out in the grass, and there's only one corner that was like a couple deeper ruts, but
okay.
the inside one's good.
Yeah.
And just do your usual thing if you're riding. Stand up a lap, you know, then get into sitting. Let the standing up help tell you where to sit for the next lap. That's what you're doing your research. Standing up, using your feet, eyes up, doing all those basic things, and then you can start to get into that groove of where to sit and build it from there. Then once you get the line running, just try and keep that same line running lap after lap, and we'll just be like a robot and keep hitting it.
Yeah.
That way you can get, you know that, oh, hey, we've done this, now the bike's doing this, and obviously from QMP, like you said, it's flatter, there's no real, and there's not big bumps here, but there's some little ones forming, and they're concretey, so it'll give you a bit more of that, you know, like Moto Land where it goes baked, and you hit those bumps. You're going to know a lot about what the bike's doing underneath you. This, is it in this first quarter of the corner when you...
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
So it's definitely on this surface, make sure that from acceleration to deceleration, where you shut off, that you've got a good braking zone smoothly to the point that you want to start to set up on the seat or start the throttle. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
When you get to just where you feel like you're running out of a bit of a momentum, or you know, the momentum's really slowing down, you just pull your clutch in and just roll the bike in a little bit more. Regardless of that, I still think there's things that we can take out of QMP and we'll make it a little bit harder, and we'll just do, basically I don't want you to do, you know, 2 laps. As soon as you feel a difference, or you don't, or you're not sure, whatever you're feeling or not feeling, and you're unsure and you've done, I don't want you to burn yourself out by going 4 laps on one setting. Yeah. I just want you to go, okay, let's turn a bit more, or oh no, that's shit, whatever that is.
Yeah. That was just like 2 to warm up and then 2 to feel the settings.
Yeah, just get a basic feel. Like you got enough there to go with, but I mean, if you need to ride a little bit more, like an extra lap or whatever, that's okay, but all I'm saying is I just want to do a few things consecutive. Yeah. And we've already done a fair bit at QMP, so we might do some things here and go backwards on that a little bit, or, you know, switch that around a bit. But how's the bike feel on the bumps?
Right now, it's like the bars are taking me. Like, he'll like jar my thumb back with the bump. Yeah.
That's cool. Not cool at the moment,
yeah,
but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Alright, I'll do some changes and then you can have a drink and chill out, and we'll get you to head out there.
Yep.
Rightio, you're on whenever you're ready. No rush, just but yeah, depending on how quickly and what direction we go, you'll have a few laps under you. planned laps. There's a bit of a schedule.
Yeah.
I think the other day I was testing with someone, we did about 12 laps, like 2 at a time.
Yeah. What did you change then?
Not telling you.
Sounds good.
You just tell me.
Cool.
You just tell me what you're feeling. That's all you need to know.
When I was saying the bike feels like it's standing up, I said that when at the end of QP. That's what I'm meaning by gas is on and then...
That's why I just didn't want to go into going like, I probably could have just grabbed it and went bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, no, I'd rather what we did.
The shock, have to have a look exactly, but it seems to be going in the right direction, even if you wanted to start off with your fork, but I think while you got it apart, sometimes it's good just to do it. Remember, so this is 2020, and I think Aiden's was a 19. I'd have to just have a look exactly when I got it apart. Sometimes you got to check what valving specs they got in. They do change from year to year. So I know Aiden's went softer. All the years before that were sort of on this stuff were rock hard and no feel and. But we'll check that sag too. Just hold. We'll make sure I got this exactly correct. Yep. Rightio. Put all your weight on, mate. Put your feet on. I'll hold it, yeah. Yeah, that's spot on, mate. That's still exactly where we want it.
Yeah.
We're still not using a lot of stroke, but that makes sense initially with that full, and that's why I think it needs a change.
Yeah.
It's fucking horrible on your hands. And then then if you let the pressure out, it drops a little bit, and it's still quite hard. So that to me just tells me that it's fork's not in the right area for where you want it, and it's not really doing what you want it to do. Yeah. You can do, like, I don't teach people that stuff, because some people it just makes worse, but with you got to know that your sag is where you want it. You got to know that where your fork is. You got to understand, just all you do is you count the clinkers all the way hard. Okay, it's at 15 if it's stock or whatever it's at, and then you put it back and you might go, I'm going softer, I'm going 2 out, and I'm going 1 on rebound. Write it. And then you know for yourself. And to be honest, to be a good privateer, you probably need to understand that a bit. That's where I lacked as a pro. I lacked a little bit going, nah, let's just fucking leave it. And you can only make it better or worse. And if you make it worse and you know where you've only changed it 2 clicks, you just put it back to where you are. Makes sense?
Yeah.
I'm in the big leagues, told her don't miss me. Ballin' like Houston, ayy, feeling like Whitney. I need a bag, bruh.